Hello and welcome to Assessment 2A Reflective Journal video guide. Let's go on the tour. The Reflective Journal Part A comprises of 2 critically reflective journal entries and the evidence of the quiz and discussion board posts. So your total word count is 1200 words. An overview of the assignment is you will write 2 critically reflective journal entries for weeks 1 and 2. So that's 1 entry for week 1, 1 entry for week 2 on your choice of unit content. For example, you could choose from readings, viewings, seminars, discussions. That's discussions in class or discussion posts. Later on, when we go through the actual brief, there'll be a clearer explanation of why and how you choose those. Each entry will be approximately 500 words. You will need to copy and paste your week 1 and 2 discussion posts, and they're already approximately 100 words each, and those are included in your word count. And a copy of your week 2 quiz results, which is not included in your word count. So the image here is, you'll see the jottings in a journal and the laptop as well. So it's really important when you start jotting down your thoughts that you do the jotting first, then you do the typing. Because the actual jotting of the thoughts down is your reflective process, and the typing up on Word doc is the outcome of that. And here's an example format. For those who like to have an example, you don't have to use this. So I've chosen week 2. You'll pop your quiz results under with a heading, discussion post heading, and copy and paste them underneath. You'll have a heading for your journal entry and then write your journal and then your references. Let's keep going. Finding the Assessment 2A information, which is very important. So you have a general brief in the unit outline, and that general brief is also in LMS, together with supporting guides, reflection guide, marking rubrics, and the Turnitin submission link, which is just a bookmark at the moment. The actual links will be uploaded soon. So let's go on our little tour really quickly. I'm trying to make it quick so you're not listening to my voice for so long. So here's your guide, but you've also got a Word doc version of this guide here with the supporting information. Now, just a few things in the guide that I want to point out is obviously your due date, week 3, Monday 9 of March, by 11:59 p.m. You've got all day till just before midnight. The marks breakdown. So the journal entries have an overall weighting, like for the unit, of 25%, and your online tasks for this is for 2A, have a weighting of 5%. You need to complete all online quizzes and all discussion posts and have those in your journal, all of them, and that will give you 5%. If there is anything missing and it's not complete, it's just a 0 mark will be awarded. A reminder, a checklist of what you need in your journal. You can check those off as you include them. And just the word count by itself and how it's broken down, so you can keep track of that. Oh, your in-text reference list, the reference list part, that is not counted in the word count. But those little things in brackets, the name and the date, the in-text, that's part of your word count. I've just reiterated instructions for discussion posts. Now this is important here, this guide for the critical reflection entries. I've just fleshed it out a bit so we get a feel of what is the different parts of reflection and how you can put that together for your journal entry. So you have the 2 entries, 500 words each. Write in first person. The tone can be conversational, but you need to use standard Australian English, so no slang, no SMS abbreviations. Write a clear heading for each journal entries, so that could be your focus point and idea and the week. So this is how you can go about putting your journal entries together, and it also gives you an idea of what you need to think about when it comes to reflection. So base it on points or ideas you felt were significant or made an impact on you, and that's good to help focus you as well. You need to show how you've captured your learning by briefly describing the point or the idea and its significance to you, because without that at the beginning, I don't know what you're connecting to. So that's what you draw out from the content. Then you need to connect with your learning by identifying your own worldviews, assumptions, possible biases, feelings, reactions, responses this new knowledge may have revealed to you or that you may have connected with. I'll explain this further in the little extract on critical reflection that will come down under the reflective thinking heading. You need to demonstrate how you've critically reflected on your learning. This is the critical reflection part. How can I see it? By explaining how your views, perspectives may have been confirmed, challenged, or transformed. Then you connect that back with your learning by analysing your new learning or new understandings to explain how your thinking, choices, and actions you make may have been influenced by, in regards to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander students and Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander perspectives in the school or teaching context. So explaining how your thinking may have been influenced in regard to that context. Now, what's really important is you need to demonstrate how you've engaged in the unit content, and that's where the referencing comes in. So any statement, points, ideas you've taken from the unit content, which is what you're reflecting on, even the points in your discussions will link back to unit content, so you'll still have that reference point. So it's very important to show that you've actually engaged in the content. So you'll in-text reference and have an end reference list after each journal entry. For visual people, you can include a visual representation and include it as a JPEG. And if we go down to the supporting information, it says you can include a visual representation that deepens the meaning of your written journal reflection in addition to your written reflections. So when you pop an image in, don't tell me what's in the image, tell me how it's affected you. That's the important part, because I can see what's in the image. Now, very, very significant to this writing that you're doing is these points that I have chosen to include about reflective thinking and critical self-reflection. Critical self-reflection and reflection, they're two different things, are very important elements to improve your professional practice, but more so, it's a very significant part in the journey in becoming a culturally responsive person, teacher. Now, reflection is described as an active process of reflection on one's own beliefs and those of others. So connecting your own and others, which is what's in the content of what you've heard. But then critical reflection further examines and questions one's own beliefs. So you reflect on your own beliefs, that's the reflection, but the critical reflection is examining and questioning those beliefs and actions so that you develop new ways of thinking and understanding and acting. And that's very important for teaching, because teachers that do not grow and change, well then their teaching is stifled and so is the learning of students. Those that do grow and change are the inspirational, motivational teachers that really make a difference in their students' learning. And this is important here too, because you'll come across some reflection formats. DTL has a format, but critical reflections require different questioning. And this is to help teachers transition from technical and descriptive considerations of classroom events to evaluating the social and cultural impact of your own teaching within the classroom and then within the school. So we start considering moral dimensions of teaching and equitable inclusion of all students, which is the guts of this unit, but it should be the guts of any teaching. So here is a guide. It's not a format, it's a guide to reflective thinking. So these are the questions on the left-hand side, and I've just fleshed them out here on the other side. So I'll leave this for you to read through, but just bear in mind this is not a reflection format. These are the questions that stimulate critical reflection, so that you are looking and reflecting and questioning your own beliefs and your own responses, and you are thinking about moral dimensions, cultural impact, and about equity for the inclusion of all students. I'll leave you to read your rubric on your own, but what's important is that you do read it, because it tells you exactly what we'll be marking. And the other thing is to make sure you understand it. So please, anything you have a question about, no question is a silly question. You should hear the questions I ask. Email that in to both me and your tutor, because your tutor needs to know what you're worrying about. But I need to know, so that in case other people have the same question, I'm going to create, well, what I usually do is create a FAQ, frequently asked questions section, and I pop that in your Fabulous Friday announcements, but I also copy that into the respective assessment folder. So I find that very helpful, so students can actually look back at the questions in case somebody's already asked them. So there we go. That ends our little tour. And I'll leave you with, oh dear, that was a very good you can do it. There we go, you can do it. So good luck, and I'm really looking forward to reading your first general reflections. And remember, these are just the beginning, only the first 2 weeks. And the reason for that is so we can give you feedback, and then you can use that feedback to improve on your Part B general reflections. So goodbye to you, and see you in class.